We're going to wait to give Commissioner Motley see if he can sign on, Commissioner Motley. We'll give a few minutes before we do the roll call. And the first resolution is posted for the general public, Commissioner Seidel Moore? Okay, so they can see what I'm seeing.
Yes, they can.
All righty. Let me ask, can anybody hear the fireworks? Because I got my door open. Do y'all hear that?
Yes, but it's not very loud.
All right, I'll close the door. Make a confession. Those fireworks were coming from Commissioner Moore's neighborhood, though, but I can hear them over here.
Yeah, they are. They are definitely coming from my neighborhood every single night. Yeah.
I'm going to try Commissioner Motley one more time.
I just texted him with the link and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, we have about another minute before we hit 6:10.
Commissioner Moore, you'll be able to tell if Commissioner Motley comes on.
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't see him.
Alrighty. Okay, we're going to officially start the meeting with the roll call. 5D01, Commissioner Linehan.
Present.
5D02, that's Commissioner Sharpshire. She will not be participating. 5D03, that's Commissioner Motley. We haven't heard from him. 5D04, Commissioner Blacknell. She has her mic off.
If you could unmute. Commissioner.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
You're present.
Yes, present.
Commissioner Moore.
Present.
5D06 is vacant, and myself, Commissioner Lee. 5D07, we do have a quorum with 4 out of the 7 commissioners. The purpose of this meeting is to vote on the resolutions as we have on the screen there. We do have 7 participants. Commissioners, do we want to ask the community if anybody has any questions about the resolutions, or commissioners, do you?
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 3 people
I have
in
no
attendance.
problem with that.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So community, do you have any questions? You can either raise your hand or type them in.
Okay, and I'll let you know if I see anything, which I don't right now.
Okay. I'm sorry, Commissioner Linehan. I did not print up the draft. No, let me go to another page because that's too small for me to read.
I can maybe expand this. Let me see.
Let's see.
That help.
I don't even know how it is kind of small, and I went to the eye doctor today. That's good enough. I can see that.
All right.
Okay, let me see what I'm doing here. All right, but you're, okay. In support of reallocating the proposed FY 2021 budget increase for Metropolitan Police Department to violent crime prevention and other services, Mayor Bowser has proposed a $578 million budget and 4,796 employees for the Metropolitan Police Department for the fiscal year FY 2021, which represents an approximately 18.5 million increase over Metropolitan Police Department's FY 2020 budget of 559.5 million and 4,754 employees. And whereas other agencies across the district government, including the agencies charged with violent crime prevention, are all facing budget cuts in FY 2021 due to COVID-19 pandemic. And whereas increasing the number of police officers does not correlate with the decrease in crime. And whereas the current number of sworn officers on MPD's force is about 3,800 officers, and it's likely to remain steady with the number of sworn officers retiring from MPD's force declining since 2015. The number of sworn officers terminated from MPD force has also remained stagnant since 2015, representing a less than 1% attrition rate. Although the number of sworn officers resigning from MPD force has increased since 2015, the increase only represents 3 to 4% of the force and is substantially negated by the MPD's plan on increasing its cadet class by 50 additional sworn officers. And thank you. And whereas MPD assigns roughly 330 officers to each of its 1st, 3rd, 4th, and 5th district, assigns 360 officers each to the 6th and 7th district, assigns 310 officers to the 2nd district. I'm sorry, to the 6th and 7th district, and assigns roughly 310 officers to the 2nd district. Whereas, despite the fact that the District of Columbia saw much lower rates of violent crime in some districts, MPD maintained similar staffing levels for all areas. The force could be reduced and better, you're messing with me around. The force,
Better distributed.
I lost it.
Sorry.
Whereas, despite that the District of Columbia saw much lower rates of violent crime in some districts, MPT maintained similar staffing levels for all 4 areas. But the force could be reduced and better distributed across the city while maintaining the same level of service and focus attention on violent crime. This would better conserve vital resources and use of our sworn officers' staff more efficiently while freeing up funding to promote violent prevention services, including the Cure the Streets and the Rover Leader program. Therefore, be it resolved, ANC5D advises the Council District of Columbia to reduce MPT's budget by $18.5 million, with approximately 11 to 13 million of that reduction coming from the sworn officers' ranks through both normal attrition of approximately 4.5% as described above, as well as an additional staff reduction of 4%, and it be also resolved, ANC5D advises the Council District of Columbia to redirect these funds to the Office of Neighborhood Safety Engagement in support of expanding the Pathways Program, additional violence interruption grants, and priority communities, trauma support service, hiring non-police personnel to respond to 911 calls as appropriate, and it be also resolved, ANC5D requested that the Governor of District of Columbia and any relevant agencies or representative comprehensively examine the staffing data of the Metropolitan Police Department because the Metropolitan Police Department continues to receive increased funding and personnel allocations each year, regardless of the changes in staffing or reduction in violent crime. The Metropolitan Police actual attrition of officers that are terminated, resign, or retire falls below general yearly estimates. The Metropolitan Police Department has not redeployed officers to make the best use of their resources or account for wide variations of violent crime across the district. The district numbers of officers in the sworn police force has not necessarily led to decreased level of violent crime in the District of Columbia. The Metropolitan Police Department could face an additional reduction or reallocation in the sworn police force and still offer the same level of service to people of the district, even with reduced funding for personnel by emphasizing a focus on violent crime. the Metropolitan Police Department sworn officer personnel force could be reduced by 4% to reach the equilibrium on yearly staffing and resource allocation, and that funding then used for other services to combat violent crime in the district. Resolved, the ANC5D advises the Council of the District of Columbia remove funding for purchases of military-style equipment, including but not limited to armored vehicles like the Lenco Beat Cat used by MVD Emergency Response Team, and conduct an extensive study on the yearly budget of the Metropolitan Police Department to find other expenditures that are inconsistent with the priorities and values of the people of the District of Columbia. As a resource, please find ANC5D's preliminary findings substantiate the above recommendations attached. That's the findings. So commissioners, I've read the resolution. We didn't get any comments, Commissioner Moore, from the public?
No.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion that we move forward this resolution to present to the DC Council. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, that was second. We are recording, Commissioner Linay. Okay,
Yes.
that was second by Commissioner Moore. I ask right now that all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 That's aye. I got a unanimous aye, so that passes 4 with 3 commissioners absent. Thank you.
I also wanted to just state thank you so much, Commissioner Moore, for putting in the time and the research. And I do apologize for not showing my patience at the last meeting whenever I was wanting to push this through. So I can very much see that this is a much better resolution. And thank you so much for putting this together.
Sure. I appreciate you saying that. And I definitely want to thank, and I'm so sorry for the name butchery that's about to occur, but Fumi Manning, who, has been very helpful from GW Law School and, helping to do some of this research, go through some of the previous year's staffing data and budget data from other council hearings. So I really appreciate that.
And I also like to thank you also, Commissioner Moore. Even as I stated that everybody's a little bit on edge.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things and the frustrations that we all are going through. And even my past, this really came to light more of my past experience, not my past experience, just the event that I attended Monday night, which was a family event for my nephew's 46th birthday. And as I stood in his backyard with 5 other Black men from 27 to 49, and they all looked like me. Some of them were, one's getting ready to be a PhD, engineers, top secret clearances. And I just said they could have left that party because they didn't have their suit and tie on and been pulled over. And no one would have thought that this was this type of man they was pulling over. So that's one of the things that, because we don't see the Black men as educated. And that's one of the problems that, that they, and their fathers and husbands. So that really, this whole week has been. So I'm gonna move forward. That's my personal testimony too. So the next resolution. And I see we have more, any questions from the participants?
We don't have a question. We do have a comment just saying that this is awesome from Ms. Bree Love.
Oh yeah, it popped up. Yes, I saw that. Okay, all righty. Sure would be nice to hear more people. Okay, supporting, Ryan, do you have this? Okay, this is all right. Supporting a fraternal order of police collective bargaining agreement that increases accountability and properly governs police misconduct. Whereas the District of Columbia entered into a collective bargaining agreement with the Fraternal Order of Police effective as of October 1st, 2017. Whereas the collective bargaining agreement is set to expire on September 30th, 2020. And whereas approximately 45% of the officers fired by the Metropolitan Police Department for misconduct between 2006 and 2007 were reinstated due to clauses in the FOP collective bargaining agreement. And whereas the District of Columbia ranks 4th among major U.S. cities in reinstating officers fired for misconduct, and whereas the FOP collected collective bargaining agreement contains provisions which make it more difficult to hold officers accountable for misconduct and endangers the lives, dignity, and human rights of citizens of the District of Columbia. And whereas the FOP collective bargaining agreement intended to allow due process, appropriate working conditions, and fair compensation for MPT officers without being used as a, right, as a mechanism to offer extrajudicial authority to officers that undermines public safety and trust, or to deny the rights of the citizens therefore be at resolved that ANC5D requests that the government of the District of Columbia and any relevant agencies or representative negotiate the FY 2021 collective bargaining agreement with the Fraternal Order of Police to exclude any provision which undermines police accountability for misconduct, including but not limited to provisions which disqualify misconduct that are submitted too many days after an incident occurs, or if an investigation takes too long to complete. Prevent police officers from being interrogated immediately after being involved in an incident, or otherwise restricting how, when, or where officers can be interrogated beyond those limitations already available to all citizens. Give officers access to information that civilians would not receive prior to being interrogated, including access to videos or alleged misconduct. Require the District of Columbia to pay costs related to police officer misconduct, including by requiring that officers receive paid leave while under investigation, paying legal fees and or costs of settlements. Prevent information on past misconduct from being recorded or retained in officers' personnel file. Limit disciplinary consequences for officers or limiting the capacity of civilian oversight structure and or the media to hold police accountable. Number 7. Block independent investigations and prosecution of officer misconduct. Make it possible for an officer to use consent as a defense when accused of sexual misconduct with a person in police custody. Resolve, ANC5D advises that the City Council of the District of Columbia should amend the DC Code to prohibit the city from entering into future collective bargaining contracts that undermine police accountability for misconduct, including but not limited to the aforementioned provisions. And this is going to be resolved by the commissioners. This was presented by Commissioner Moore and before the ANC5D as a duly noted public meeting on June 9, 2020, ANC5D composed of 6 commissioners.
Yeah,
Commissioner.
they just update the date to June 18.
Okay, yeah. Well, I didn't read that the last time, but that's because you're doing it. Ryan is doing it right now, so we move forward. But I haven't, commissioners, I'd like to make a motion that we move this resolution forward by Commissioner Moore. Can I get a second?
I second.
It's second by Commissioner Blackman. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes 4 with 2 commissioners absent and 1 vacant. So 3 commissioners absent. There's a question there in the chat room. Was that the same question, Commissioner Moore?
That's the same comment from previous.
Okay. Any other comments from the community? Well, I'm going to say thank you. We will, Commissioner Moore, who has the resolution? Who's gonna, I could print it and sign it myself, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you sure can. And then I'll send you, we still have, tomorrow is the last day for us to submit. So if you want to just submit it to Judiciary at DC Council.
Okay, does it require 2 signatures?
It does, you and the secretary.
Okay, yes. I will go sign it now and send it to Commissioner Linehan.
Okay. Yes.
You might be able to digitally sign this.
You have my, well, Commissioner.
Yes, we'll work
We'll work it out.
Okay, because I just realized something. So take care of that, Commissioner Linehan. Thank you. I think I'm saying that correctly, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Commissioner Moore, again, thank you so much for the work you put into this.
Thank you. And Commissioner Blacknell, thank you also.
Yes.
We all.
Commissioner Blacknell, thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
Definitely. And I just have one brief comment because I want people to understand why we have an extended deadline beyond what everyone else had. And that's just because we're an advisory neighborhood commission. And so within reason, we can request that type of an extension and say, hey, we would like to submit comments by this time. And as long as it's reasonable, you know, they've typically been really good about granting that. So we did request that, and it will be part of the official record.
And if anybody's in the Trinidad community, there's a zoning meeting tonight. I know two properties in Trinidad should be discussed this evening. And that meeting starts in 1/2 hour, I believe, 7 o'clock.
Yep.
So I thank you. Once again, enjoy. Everyone, think of your father, thank your father. And yes, you don't have to buy him anything, because I know I'm not getting it. But at least think of him. Okay? Send out a good thought for your fathers. Happy Father's Day.
Yes, happy Father's Day. And Commissioner Lee, thanks for reading these resolutions. Thank you for each person that came to attend this special meeting. And again, Commissioner Moore, thank you for putting in the work.
Sure.
Yes. All right, we're signing off.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.